Welcome to Trending Update USA, and I am Steffan, bringing you another deep dive into the world of tennis where bold claims, controversial comparisons, and high expectations have collided once again, this time centering around Coco Gauff and the enormous shadow cast by the legendary Serena Williams. Over the past week, the tennis world has been buzzing, debating, arguing, and dissecting one particular statement. Can Coco Gauff ever come close to matching Serena Williams' Grand Slam record? But things took a sharp turn when Serena's former coach stepped forward, openly expressing doubt and calling the speculation not only premature but downright disappointing. His remarks have ignited fresh debates and pushed fans, analysts, and even former players to reevaluate how fair these comparisons truly are for a young athlete still carving her own path. The conversation started innocently enough when a former WTA pundit floated the idea that Gauff, already a Grand Slam champion and a consistent top 5 presence, could eventually challenge the legendary milestone that Serena set over a 27-year professional journey. It was a bold proclamation, one meant to inspire excitement. But instead, it triggered a wave of mixed reactions. Some fans found the comment uplifting, a sign of respect toward Gauff's talent, while many others felt it was unfair pressure. And just when the discussion seemed to be settling, Serena Williams' ex-coach weighed in, striking a very different tone. According to him, the comparison was unrealistic, exaggerated, and bordering on disrespectful to Serena's unparalleled achievements. Speaking in a recent interview, Serena's former coach didn't hold back. He acknowledged Gauff's talent, calling her one of the most influential rising stars in modern tennis, but insisted that comparing her to Serena Williams at this stage was completely misplaced. He pointed out that Serena had already showcased extraordinary dominance early in her career, winning multiple slams before turning 21. In contrast, Gauff, while rapidly improving and undeniably popular, has not yet displayed the same consistent level of explosive dominance. More importantly, he suggested that focusing on Serena's slam count distracts from Gauff's individual journey. He even went as far as calling the prediction disappointing, saying it puts unnecessary pressure on a young athlete who deserves room to grow without constantly being measured against the greatest American player of all time. These comments struck a nerve across the tennis community. Future predictions about young athletes are common, but when those predictions involve Serena's 23 Grand Slam singles titles, the conversation becomes delicate. Serena's accomplishments are not just numbers. They represent an era, a revolution in power, athleticism, mental toughness, and longevity. The coach emphasized that Serena's record wasn't built on talent alone. It was built on 20 years of discipline, overcoming adversity, reinventing her game, and surviving countless injuries. To expect a player, any player, to replicate that is not just unrealistic, but unfair. Coco Gauff, for her part, has always been humble when speaking about her idols, including the Williams sisters. She has repeatedly said that she does not want to be the next Serena, but rather, the first Coco Gauff. Her rise has been remarkable. From shocking the world at 15 by defeating Venus Williams at Wimbledon, to capturing her first Grand Slam title at the US Open, to becoming a global ambassador for the sport, Gauff has earned her place as one of the most influential athletes of her generation. But whether she can accumulate double-digit Grand Slam titles remains a wide-open question. The former coach didn't deny Gauff's potential, but he pointed out that the WTA landscape is now drastically more competitive than during Serena's early years. Players like Iga Swiatek, Aryna Sabalenka, Elena Rybakina, Naomi Osaka, Marketa Vondrousova, and a dozen rising stars are all capable of winning slams in any given season. That means Gauff faces a deeper field of threats, not to mention the physical toll of the modern tennis schedule. Serena, despite facing giants like Sharapova, Henin, and Hingis, often entered tournaments as the clear favorite. Gauff will not enjoy that same advantage. But beyond the technical analysis, the coach warned of a psychological challenge, the danger of expectations. Serena herself spoke repeatedly about the pressure she endured chasing history. She admitted that the spotlight, the narratives, and the comparisons often felt like a weight on her shoulders. If that pressure was heavy even for a warrior like Serena, how heavy could it be for Gauff, who is still learning not just how to win, but how to navigate fame. This is why the coach labeled the prediction disappointing, because it places the burden of Serena's legacy on a teenager still developing her identity. According to him, Gauff deserves the chance to grow organically, not be held hostage by someone else's standards. His remarks were a reminder that Serena Williams was not just a champion, she was a once-in-a-century phenomenon. Yet, despite the controversy, the debate hasn't slowed down. Fans have taken to social media, splitting into two camps. One side argues that comparisons are natural and should motivate Gauff. The other side believes the pressure is excessive and serves no purpose. Some fans point out that Serena herself inspired such comparisons by simply being so dominant that future generations would always be measured against her. Others argue that this cycle is unfair and needs to be broken. Meanwhile, Coco Gauff has remained focused and poised. In recent press conferences, she emphasized that her goal is to win more Grand Slams, improve her consistency, and enjoy her career. She does not measure her success by Serena's statistics. Instead, she measures it by her own growth. She even acknowledged that Serena's records might remain untouched for decades, and that trying to chase them would not be sustainable mentally. As her former coach highlighted, the mark of true greatness is longevity, and longevity requires passion, health, and luck. He reminded fans and analysts that Serena won her last slam at 35 years old, an age where most players have retired. To replicate something like that requires not just skill, but extraordinary durability. Gauff is currently on the right path, maintaining fitness, balancing her schedule, and improving every season. But she is still early in her career, and predicting her end career numbers is impossible. Another aspect the coach brought up was the uniqueness of Serena's aura. Serena didn't just dominate tennis, she transcended it. Her influence extended into fashion, activism, motherhood, business, and cultural shifts. She changed how young girls saw power. She transformed how the world viewed black women in sports. Gauff, while also having a significant platform, is forging a different identity, one rooted in her voice on social issues, leadership, confidence, and a modern, tactical style of play. The coach urged fans to celebrate that difference instead of forcing a clone narrative. He concluded by saying that predicting Serena-level success for any current player is not only unrealistic, it undermines how historically significant Serena truly was. It takes away the uniqueness of her dominance and the nearly impossible mountain she climbed. Serena Williams wasn't just a tennis player, she was a revolution. Expecting anyone to follow the exact same path simply does not honor her legacy. But in the midst of this debate, many experts believe the conversation itself shows how much faith and admiration people already have in Coco Gauff. Few young players spark such passionate discussions. Gauff's charisma, composure, and raw ability have made her a symbol of the sport's future. And while comparisons to Serena may be premature, they reflect a belief that Gauff could become one of the greats in her own right. Today's tennis world is different. It is faster, more physical, more global, and more unpredictable. But Gauff has shown she has the mindset to thrive in it. She has the work ethic, the tactical intelligence, and the mental strength needed to rise above adversity. Her team continues to refine her serve, her net game, and her decision-making under pressure. Even Serena's ex-coach admitted that Gauff possesses rare qualities that only champions have. Perhaps the real lesson here is that greatness cannot be forced. It evolves. Serena's greatness wasn't predicted, it was earned. And Gauff's greatness, whatever form it takes, will be earned too. Whether she wins 5 slams, 10 slams, or even 20, her journey will be unique and powerful in its own way. And that, according to many fans, is what matters most. As the tennis world continues to analyze the comments, one thing is clear: Coco Gauff is not Serena Williams, and she shouldn't have to be. She is Coco Gauff. She is the face of a new generation. She represents the future, not the past. Her story is still being written, one tournament at a time. And while expectations will always follow her, the tennis community must learn to let her breathe, grow, and define her own legacy. The debate will continue. More analysts will speak. More former coaches will weigh in. But for now, Gauff remains focused, determined, and ready to write her own history. Whether or not she ever reaches Serena's slam count, she has already built a place for herself in the sport that cannot be denied. And the world will be watching, cheering, and analyzing every moment along the way. This is Steffan with Trending Update USA, bringing you the latest from the world of tennis, where legends inspire, champions rise, and the future continues to unfold before our eyes.